Hello again, Jesse here from the Financial Toolbox, here today to talk to you about the top 10 advantages of setting up a corporation. And in my book, The Financial Toolbox, the chapter on corporate structure is best represented by the tool that you'll find in a toolbox called a level. The level, like corporate structure, is something that'll make sure that you're at the proper horizontal surface for the project you're designing. And if your project is your business, you want to make sure before you start your business you have the proper corporate structure. And as your business is growing, keep using the level to see if you have to change that corporate structure and improve upon it with the growth of your business. Excellent. So, a professional corporation is an option if you are a professional aiming to provide your services through a corporation and you're regulated by a governing body. These are some of the professions that can factor into this. A physician, a dentist, a veterinarian, lawyer, accountant, architect, chiropractor, optometrist, engineer, or real estate agent. One of the main differences between a corporation and a professional corporation is how liability is treated. You need to be aware that there's going to be some variations here between the provinces, so make sure to see what's right for you. Now, the first of the top 10 advantages for setting up your corporation is liability, limited liability. As a general rule, a shareholder is not responsible for the debts of the corporation. If it goes bankrupt, the shareholder will not lose more than the investment that they put in unless they put up personal guarantees for the debts of the corporation. Creditors of the corporation cannot sue the shareholders for corporate liabilities. That's important. In a professional corporation, you don't really have limited liability. This is something to be aware of. The liability protection does not extend to malpractice, meaning that you cannot avoid personal liability for negligence simply by incorporating your practice, though you do have some protection from creditors. So that was the first thing, limited liability. The second benefit is a separate legal entity. The money and other assets of a separate legal entity belong to the corporation and not to its shareholders. There's some advantages to that. Number 3, lower tax rates. Corporations are going to be taxed separately from the owners at a rate that is often significantly lower than the individual tax rate of the owner. A Canadian-controlled private corporation has a lower tax rate on its first $500,000 of income. In Ontario, it's 15.5%. Number 4, tax deferral. This is one of the big reasons that people set up corporations. When you don't need to use all your earnings in your business in a given year, the surplus income can be left in the corporation to be invested in assets that can grow or create an income within the corporation. So the shareholders can essentially defer taxes to a time that they need the money later on, such as in retirement when they're often in a lower tax bracket. That deferral is a huge value for setting up a corporation. Number 5, more access to money in setting up a corporation. The corporation can issue bonds, it can issue shares to its investors if it needs to gather or receive money for expanded operations. Number 6, income splitting. Choosing any of the 3 different ways to structure your business will allow you to hire family members and split income with them, providing they're paid reasonably for their services. That's a hurdle to consider. Where a corporation can take it to the next level is through a dividend sprinkling. See, you don't need to demonstrate that the family members have an active participation in the business to sprinkle dividends over to them. The corporation may issue shares to low-income family members or of the professional and pay them a dividend. This option can save you a lot of money, or corporation a lot of money, instead of paying that income to them through after-tax dollars from the owner on a personal basis. And it may be a great way to pay for the education or other expenses of children who are over 18. That's something to keep in mind. Number 7, capital gains deduction. If you dispose of shares of a qualified small business, corporation, a farm, or a fishing property in 2015, you have a lifetime capital gain exemption at this year of $813,600. This gain is not subject to tax and increases with inflation thereafter. So every year it's going to go up by inflation, and this is an important factor to use this capital gain deduction down the road. Number 8, choosing how you get paid. You could choose to take a salary, you could choose dividends, or you could choose a combination of both. This is where you need to seek a professional to make sure that the corporate structure is going to be right for you and getting paid is going to be right for you, because this could change as your corporation continues on. Number 9, continuous existence. When a partnership or a sole proprietor dies, so does the business. But a corporation can outlive you, which is a tremendous thing. The stability for this opens up many different options on a financial planning level to plan through a corporation. It's actually quite exciting when we look at all the different options there. Number 10, choosing to end the calendar year when you like for tax purposes. In a professional corporation, you could provide further tax deferral opportunities by taking advantage of this. So, these are the top 10 advantages of setting up a corporation. If it's right for you, let's explore it. If you have questions, this is something that could defer tax, it could save you tax. It's a big thing for you. Reach out to me if you have any questions. Go to my website, thefinancialtoolboxguru.com. Drop me an email from there. Let's see if we can get this to your advantage. And we'll talk to you soon. Jesse from the Financial Toolbox, signing off.